Okay, number one then. How do you find 10%? Mason? Okay, there is a trick, you just take off the 0. However, if I say I want to see a different method, how could we change it, Joe?
10%.
Yeah, the decimal point can be, we can pretend it moves that way. We know the numbers shift down one, like I showed you last time, but the decimal point moves one. So for 1 mark, 784. Okay, I don't care how you've done it. I want to see it. Tommy should be marking your work. Believe it or not. Right, 50%. Anyone know how to do that? We didn't discuss it at all. I told you it was coming up, and I broadcast it to you last lesson and said, oh, we're going to do 50%. How do you do it? And a couple of you went, oh, you just do this, sir. Okay, and some of you have just done it. Mason, how do you do it? That's it, stop, that's it. You just halve it, yeah? So we have 250, and it is 125. So I'll do in brackets, it's just divided by 2, halving it. So it's £125. So if you didn't get that right, 50% is dead easy, you just halve it, yeah? Dead easy, and that's a primary school thing. That is really low level. Right then, 15%, that was last lesson. How did we decide that we were going to do 15%? Ethan?
10% and then do 5% and add them up.
Good. 10%? 5%? Adam. 10% is? Anybody? Shout out for? 40. Well done. Can somebody actually explain though how you find 5% when you've got 10%? Declan. Good man. Yes, halve it. So that is 20. 1 mark if I can see 20 anywhere. So not you're going to get full marks if you've got the answer. I'm just giving you marks for little bits. So if I can see 20 anywhere, I know you figured out 5%, so I'm giving you a mark. The final second mark is when you add them to make 60. If you've got 60, it's 2 out of 2 anyway. But if I can see 20, it's going to back you up, yes. So that's 2.
I've got the same answer and stuff, but I put 400. You know where the 10% is 400.
You changed it, haven't you? Oh, I
Still
can
got
give it 2 marks. Okay. Now, the next bit, the 20%. Very briefly, we talked about it when we was doing the teaching bit. Okay, very briefly. Didn't go into any detail. I said next we will do 20%. How would you do that? Some of you had ideas, some of you didn't. Now, let's ask all of you. I'm looking at all of you because it's for you to improve on this little bit. How do you find 20%? What's convenient? Leah? Double what? 10% first. Well done. You explained it very well in the end. And then double it. So 10% first. 10% on 600 is 60. Good. And you can add it onto itself or double it. I'm going to write times by 2 because I want 20%. You understand that? That 2 10% makes 20%. You happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm very simply putting pieces together to make the things that I want. So that's £120. I'll go back actually, put meters on that. And any units that I've missed off, go put them back on. Alright? You do, yeah. It's not a massive thing. I'm still going to give you the marks. That's 2 marks for that one, by the way. If I can see 60 knocking about without the final answer of 120, 1 mark, because you need to find that. So that's 2 there. Okay, so far I'll do a tally chart. Oh, Miss can do a tally chart for me.
Yes,
There you go.
okay.
1, 2, 1, 6 so far. Okay, any questions at that point? Please ask him. Mason? Okay, let's see what you're doing. Can you listen to this? Now I'm going to tell you what that works out. Now Mason said you have 600. That's finding 50%. Okay. Now if you have his answer, if you have 50%, what do you end up getting? 25%. So that'll be 150. You get 25%. You're close, Mason, but it's not the right one. Okay. So you should be seeing these things being taken down to help yourself out. Okay. Write it out now. Okay, literally write it. I want to see you doing that so it goes into that brain a little bit more than just listen to what's going on. Okay, I can see a couple of boys, so don't worry. Just left at that. Okay. 1%. We covered this. Louise? Move the decimal point twice, so 774. Is it here, the decimal point, Louise? Where does it start? Starts at the end. Right, okay, so 1, 2, so 7.74. Only 1 mark, okay? Millimetres. 1 mark, just 1 mark, because it's a quick thing, isn't it? Just do that, okay? Who got that one right? Oh, I expect all here, unless you weren't here. So, decimal point shifts twice. Haven't got that. write it down. Okay. Next one. This is a toughie. 7.74. Okay? Next one's a real toughie because we didn't discuss some of this stuff. Has anybody got any ideas? Because there's going to be loads of different ways of doing it. And I'm going to show you my way of doing it, and I'm going to like to listen to why some students decide how to do it. Jake, what's your decision?
I got 10% and then I times it by 2.
Okay, 10%. You times that by 2 to get 20%, yeah?
Yeah. And then I found 5%.
Found 5%, nice, I like that.
And then I found 1%.
And then you found 1%. Good man, and you added them all up. That's a nice way of doing it. I didn't think I thought someone's going to go, I'm going to do 1% 6 times instead. That was dead nice. See, I was doing 20% because you can do that if you know how to. 5% is half of 10%. We know how to find 1%, and you add them up. Ethan, your way?
No,
Same way, good brains here.
I did 10%, 15 and 1%.
Alright, so you did a combination of similar things, but 10%, 15%, 1%. Okay? Now, if you got my answer, you get both marks. Okay? I'm going to show you a different way, just so we discuss this particular one. And it comes across what Mason just talked about. That's why I wasted some time speaking about 25%. I'm going to figure out 25%, which is quite easy to do, and 1%. If you're not looking, I'm just going to say you're not looking, pay attention, simple as that. Okay? So this is where some of you will make lots and lots of marks. 25% is a quarter. So if you listen to what Mason said, you halve it to get 50%, and you halve it again, and that gives you 25%. So if I halve that, that's 210. And if I halve 210, so half of 10 is 5, half of 200 is 100, so that's 105. So 25% is 105 so far. 1%, Louise just told us, move that decimal point twice, so that's 4.2. And that means if I add 105 to 4.2, I'll have 109.2. Now the benefit is, if you did a different way, and it's still the right answer, then you still get the marks. Because percentages, in a non-calculator sense like this, whatever you can do to make that number up will work, yes.
So what you do with the 210 and 100?
Well here, I'll go for it a little bit clearer. When I did 210, I was figuring out 50%, because I needed to know that first. Then I have that one to give me 25%. So that's me breaking it down bit by bit. It's 109.2 centimetres. You know, the calculator way, which is a non-calculator question. Okay, that's why it says, I'll just highlight it. It'll be on this video forever there, Liam, not non-calculator. But yeah, Liam, you can do that for the next ones, yeah? Some people try to... And fair enough, Annie, you might not get it, but we didn't discuss finding 25%. Listen very carefully, ready? Halve it and halve it again. That's how you find 25%. Okay, so either 25% and 1%, because when you add that, it's 26%. Okay, you can continue to do Jake and Ethan's way, where they did 10%, 20%, 5% and 1%, and they added the bits they needed. So that's 2 marks. Okay? Right, that bit is the worst bit of this assessment over, because that's the bit where you can't use your calculator. You've really got to understand the little pieces that make up the percentages. Okay? You probably will not be asked to do 26% ever. That's me being nasty. You will be asked to do 15%, and you will be asked to do 20%, and you will be asked to do 50%. They're new ones that we didn't talk about. Okay, actually we talked about 15%. But the other ones, 10% is easy, 1% is easy. You've got to have them in your skills, okay? Right then. Hopefully you've got enough time to jot that down. Just get that memory made. But it was ongoing, I'm letting you do it now. We're going to start from the beginning. It was as we was doing it, Jamie. Yeah? It was as we was doing it, not like just now. Now. Calculate one. Liam, I know you get this, so we'll let you talk about this one. Show me how to do it. 27 over 100 times equals 0.8. It's pounds, so I'm going to put 0.80. If you missed that, put it on. Do that for free now. That's 1 mark because it's just put it in the calculator and it spits it out at you. Okay, you still have to know that it's over 100 and it's times. Okay, so that's just 1 mark. Okay, this one exactly the same. Some of you are getting confused because you spent so much effort doing the non-calculator, so really using your brain, getting engaged with it. When you came to this one, you saw the decimal and you tried to do it non-calculator as well. That's not what we're doing. We're just going to do 12.4 Percentage means over 100. Of means
Time.
305. Spits it out. What's the answer? 372.62. Stick the pound sign on the front, or whatever you can make out. Some of you do really weird ones. Okay, that's another mark. It's just let the calculator do the work. You need to know the format, and that's it.
Is that like 1 mark?
I'll let you have it for now, but you best put it on in the future, okay? Because money, you know it's got to be in pence, don't you? Which is two decimal places. Now then, they're the 1 markers. They're dead easy, yeah? If you know how to do them, in the calculator off you go, okay? And I expect you to be able to do that for the rest of your life, really. So, year 9, percentage, you go, oh, it's out 100 times by, boom, we're there, okay? You have to redo it. Increasing though, this is 6B. I've got to tell you how well you're doing if you're doing this level of work already. I've got to let you know how well you're doing if you're doing it, okay? Now, increasing. Someone just describe it very briefly before I do it. Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah? You said it really well, to be honest. So find the answer. Perfect. You find the answer, add it back on, yeah? So if people think like you did, they'll think, oh yeah, you just do that then, okay? So we find 14% of 400. So 14 over 100 times 400 equals, you've done it, 56. If I see 56 anywhere, 1 mark, because you need to do that first. Okay, this bit needs the working out. So if you didn't do the working out on your trial assessment, in the real assessment, you best show your working out. Okay, you better show it. It's recorded forever there, Kieran. Well done. Won't finish marking that. Otherwise, you won't know you got. The second mark, which I need to see this. If I don't see this, you won't get the marks in the real assessment. So you can change it with your blue felt tip now. So I know you're actually writing it on for your working out. Will give you 456. So if I see 4, 5, 6, that's 2 marks. But if I don't see the working out in the real assessment, I'm only going to give you 1 for the final answer, okay? So back up what you've done by writing this bit here. Convince me you did it by yourself, does that make sense? The working out? Now you get 2 marks now, Liam, but in the real assessment, if you don't write this bit, just go by a mark, yeah? Annie?
Can I change this round? Because I put 800 over 100 and then 22 over 100.
Still worked out though, doesn't it?
Can I change that?
You can. But remember, do you remember when we split problems here? I said, look, if you do happen to do it the wrong way round, and you do 400 divided by 100, that is another way of doing it. It's finding 1% first, okay? We're trying to figure out the percentage as a decimal by dividing by 100 first, okay? There's loads of ways of doing it, and if you're consistent, you'll still be fine. Right, this one, same idea then. So 22 over 100, because that's 22%, times 800. What did that give you?
176.
176, 1 mark. Second mark, 800, add 176 is 2 marks, which is 976. Oh, I've got units again. Pounds, and this one is metres. So that's 2 marks. In the assessment, if I do not see this bit, watch, you're not going to get full marks. You'll get 1 for the final answer, okay? So just convince me you know what you're doing by increasing. Obviously you do know, because you have to get the final answer. It depends, Tom. If they say show your working out, no. Yeah? And they sometimes do that, yeah? You really have to show everything you're doing. Right then, who got those right? Those calculate ones. Quite a number. Some of you just sat there like that. What do you say? That's good. That's really good. 6B. 6B. Some of your standards at the moment are 4s. 6B. How good's that? Okay. Last question. And I'll let you do your assessment. Decrease. Someone describe like Annie did. Just like she did. Liam. Just like increase the takeaway. So shall I try and say it the same way? Boom. Liam, you said it completely right. Well done. Find the answer and take it away, yeah? Dead good, Leo. Okay? So, this one, find the percentage of 14. I'll just do little random stuff. 14 over 100. You need to be quiet, otherwise you're just going to have your voice all over the place on this. I don't want to hear it. Hear it enough. What's that? What's that? What's 40% of 400? Yep. 56. Second mark, the final mark, 400 take away 56 is 344 pounds. That's 2 marks. Next one, 22% of 800. That's what we're doing first. So 22 over 100 times by 800. I'm rushing that because I know you get that because most people put your hand up for that bit. What do you do with that? 176. What do you do with that?
Take it away.
800 take away 176 is 600 and something
625.
meters.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 marks again. Okay,
So what's that top one called? That's the 14.
this one, that's supposed to be times. I just went mad for it and kept going. Okay, so that's 14% of 400. Okay, do you remember what that is? 14 times and so on. Right then. So that, can't remember anything. Brilliant.